It's 2025, Russia's economy is in big trouble. International sanctions, less money from oil and really high inflation are pushing the country to the edge. But just how bad is it? And can Russia's economy make it through? The answer, sadly, is complicated. The government says things are okay, that the economy is adjusting. But if you look closer, it's much worse. Behind the official numbers, prices are going way up, savings are going way down, and people are getting angry. This is the story of Russia's economy in crisis. It's not just about numbers, it's about how regular Russians are living. It's a story of uncertainty, hardship, and the real chance of a total collapse. The world is watching. What happens in Russia will affect everyone, not just Russia. Inflation is like a sneaky thief. It steals the value of your money, making things you need cost more. In Russia, this thief is working out in the open, but the government is hiding how bad it really is. The Kremlin wants you to think inflation is under control. They point to their numbers which say inflation is slowing down. But those numbers aren't the whole story. Independent groups say the real inflation rate could be twice as high. This is easy to see when you look at the price of everyday things, which have gone up a lot lately. For regular Russians, this is terrible. Their money buys less and less every day. Savings are disappearing, and many people are struggling to buy food. Things are getting tense, and people are starting to lose faith in the system. Other countries responded quickly and strongly to Russia's actions. They placed lots of sanctions on Russia's economy, more than ever before. The impact has been really bad. The energy business, which used to be the heart of Russia's economy, is hurting because of the sanctions. Limits on how much oil Russia can sell and price caps have cut their income a lot. Manufacturing is also in trouble. Sanctions have messed up supply chains, meaning factories can't get the parts they need. Many factories have had to close. Russia's industry, which used to be so powerful, is slowing down. These sanctions aren't just numbers on paper, they're hurting regular Russians. People are losing their jobs, businesses are closing, and everything costs more. The country is starting to fall apart. Russia's economy is getting smaller, and fast. The signs are everywhere, from deserted industrial zones to shuttered storefronts. The International Monetary Fund thinks Russia's economy will shrink by 6% in 2025. This forecast is alarming and has caught the attention of economists worldwide. That's a huge number, and it shows how serious this crisis is. Business leaders are scrambling to find solutions, but the outlook remains bleak. This shrinking economy is causing lots of problems. Unemployment rates are soaring and consumer spending is plummeting, leading to empty shopping malls and halted construction projects. More people are unemployed, businesses from other countries aren't investing in Russia anymore, and the ruble is worth less. The devaluation of the ruble is making everyday goods more expensive for ordinary Russians. Russia's economy is in a downward spiral, and it's hard to see a way out. Economists are worried and factories are closing down, adding to the economic woes. Every part of the economy is feeling the pain. Store owners are stressed, construction sites are abandoned, and banks are eerily quiet. Stores, construction companies, banks, everyone is struggling. The ripple effects are being felt across all sectors, from retail to finance. The middle class, which used to be doing well, is getting squeezed, and the difference between the rich and the poor is getting bigger. Income disparity is becoming more pronounced, leading to social tensions. This economic crisis could cause big problems for Russia's society and government. Protests are becoming more frequent, and people are losing faith in the government's ability to manage the crisis. If the economy keeps shrinking, there could be social unrest, political instability, and maybe even a change in government. The stakes are high and the future is uncertain. Oil, which used to be Russia's biggest strength, has become its biggest weakness. Sanctions and lower demand for oil around the world have cut Russia's oil income, leaving the government short on money. This is putting a lot of pressure on the Russian budget. The Kremlin has to make hard decisions, cutting important services and social programs to pay for the war, and try to keep the economy from collapsing completely. Regular Russians are feeling the pain of these cuts. Pensions are smaller, healthcare is more expensive, and schools are suffering. The systems that are supposed to help people are being stretched too thin. The Kremlin is trying to find ways to replace the lost oil money. But with the sanctions and the failing economy, there aren't many good options. The risk of a major debt crisis is getting bigger every day. For regular Russians, the economic crisis isn't just something they hear about on the news, it's their everyday life. It's a constant struggle that affects every aspect of their existence. From the moment they wake up to the moment they go to bed, they feel the pain of higher prices, the fear of losing their jobs, and the sadness of seeing their dreams disappear. The grocery stores they once frequented now have shelves that are increasingly bare, and the prices of the remaining items are skyrocketing. The cost of living has gone way up. What used to be affordable is now out of reach for many. People are finding it harder to make ends meet, and the stress is palpable. Basic things like food, medicine, and clothes are getting too expensive. Even essential medications are becoming a luxury that many can't afford, leading to difficult choices about health and well-being. Many people have to make tough choices, cutting back on things they need just to survive. Families are simplifying their meals, often going without the variety and nutrition they once enjoyed. People are worried about losing their jobs. The fear of unemployment looms large, and the uncertainty of the future is a heavy burden to bear. Businesses are closing, and even people who still have jobs are getting paid less or working fewer hours. The ripple effect of these closures is felt throughout the community, affecting everyone. Unemployment is going up, and many people think things will get even worse. The lines at unemployment offices are growing, and the competition for the few available jobs is fierce. This economic crisis is already causing problems in society. Communities are coming together to discuss these issues, but solutions are hard to find. Utility shutoffs are becoming more common, adding to the stress. Crime is increasing, and people are getting more and more frustrated. As desperation grows, so does the incidence of theft and other crimes, putting additional strain on already stretched resources. Protests, which used to be rare, are happening more often and are getting more desperate. People are taking to the streets demanding change and expressing their frustration with the current state of affairs. The sanctions placed on Russia are stronger and more widespread than ever before, but Russia isn't giving up. These sanctions have targeted various sectors, including finance, energy, and technology, aiming to cripple the Russian economy and force political change. The Kremlin is looking for ways to get around the sanctions, finding loopholes and making new friends. They are engaging in diplomatic efforts to build alliances with countries that are willing to overlook the sanctions, thus creating a network of support that can help them sustain their economy. One important thing that's happened is the creation of a secret fleet of oil tankers. These tankers are designed to operate under the radar, avoiding detection by Western authorities. They play a crucial role in transporting Russian oil to international markets. These tankers operate outside of Western control and carry Russian oil to countries that will buy it. This clandestine operation has allowed Russia to continue its oil exports, albeit at a reduced capacity compared to pre-sanction levels. This has helped Russia deal with the oil price cap, but it has also been costly. The expenses associated with maintaining and operating this secret fleet are significant, and the revenue generated is not as high as it once was. Russia has also had to find new trading partners in Asia, especially China and India, because they can no longer trade as much with Western countries. These new partnerships are crucial for Russia's economic survival, providing alternative markets for their goods and resources. This has helped their economy a little, but it also has downsides. The terms of trade with these new partners are often less favorable, and the logistical challenges of shifting trade routes have added to the economic strain. How well these sanctions work in the long run depends on a few things, including whether other countries will enforce them and how well Russia can adapt. The global community's commitment to maintaining these sanctions is crucial for their effectiveness. The economic fight between Russia and the West is far from over. Both sides are continuously adapting their strategies, and the outcome will shape the future of international relations and global economic stability. As Russia's economic problems get worse, so does the chance of social unrest. High prices, low incomes, and growing inequality are a dangerous mix. The Kremlin knows this and is trying to stop any protests. It's much harder to speak freely or criticize the government now, and the security services have more power to stop any unrest. But these measures can only do so much. As things get harder for people, they will get angrier and more frustrated. The possibility of a social explosion is real and is growing every day. The world is watching nervously as things develop in Russia. The combination of economic and social unrest is dangerous and could cause instability in the entire region and beyond. Russia's economic crisis isn't just a problem for Russia, it affects the whole world. The global economy is connected, so what happens in Russia affects other countries too. The war in Ukraine and the sanctions on Russia have already caused problems for the world's economy. Energy prices have gone up, supply chains have been disrupted, and inflation is higher everywhere. The longer the war and the economic crisis continue, the greater the chance of a global recession. The world is hoping for a quick and peaceful solution, but is also preparing for the worst. This is a very important time for Russia and the world. The decisions made in the next few months and years will have big consequences. The world is watching, hoping for the best, but worried about the worst.